Hey there. I'm back after 2 months and 10,000 miles on the road. I'm finally back and working on producing this very first production on my new MacBook Pro. And so I'm going to introduce my dear friend Kambutcha Klarke. I met him a year ago out at the Water Life Symposium, and we hung out in San Diego for a couple of weeks. It was awesome. He lived there, and he has since moved to West Palm Beach, Florida, which is where I went to shoot this video. So it's taken me a long while to get back up to speed in production, and I appreciate your patience. It's been a lot of patience on my part too. So I'm recording this clip as I make this film, and I shot this particular piece back in August in West Palm Beach, Florida, with my dear friend Kambutcha Klarke. So I hope you enjoy. He's got quite a tale to tell. I'll see you on the backside. Bye.
Hi, this is Kambutcha Klarke here in West Palm Beach, Florida. Originally from San Diego, California, just moved out here. Casey came to visit me and I am stoked.
Yeah, so why are you here, my friend?
I am here to be the best version of myself. Currently just got a job at a next level healing sanctuary. I will leave the name unannounced for now.
Yeah. So what led you to this decision?
It's so many things. I got into health and nutrition a few years ago. Got into raw foods and fasting and fermentation, hot cold therapy, infrared saunas. Got into just a lot of different therapies, and then one thing led to the next, and I was drinking my own pee. Got on the urine therapy. And the urine therapy has been one of the most powerful therapies I've ever experienced in my life. I'm into a lot of next level ancient therapies from the ancient yogis, and combined with new technologies, everything from sun gazing to infrared saunas, and everything in between. I believe we're light beings. We run basically on light and water. Food is pretty much optional. I still enjoy about one meal a day, raw, organic, fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds. When that's not available in its purest form, I'm usually just on pretty much my own water, and the cleanest water I can get. I like spring water a lot, and yeah, I am here to answer your question. I'm here to be the best version of myself that I can be, inspire others, help others heal from our society, all of the unnatural, abusive ways that our society puts in stressors, puts on the body, and it's, that stuff's all okay, but there's ways to heal from it, and that's what I'm learning and growing, and helping others, and teaching others, and helping others with that.
Now let's talk about your childhood.
My childhood.
Let's talk about your childhood, of how you could have come from that to this.
Okay, yeah.
Now, I lovingly call you Pizza Boy because you told me stories.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, Pizza Boy is a term Casey came up with here. It's It's a bit of an inside joke. I did grow up on pizza, pasta, cereal, junk food. My dad was a meat and potatoes type of guy. When I ordered pizza as a kid, it was get me the meat lovers, extra cheese, extra pepperoni, extra crust, extra everything. Just fill it up. Could sit down and eat an entire large pizza in one sitting when I was, 10 years old. By the time I was 16 years old, I was a 220-pound pre-diabetic. All I wanted to do was watch TV and play video games and eat as much pizza and as much food, as much cheese, as much whatever junk food, candy, soda I could possibly eat. I was 220 pounds. I still have the stretch marks.
Yeah, can we come in close and see if we can,
I don't know if they come out on the camera. They've diminished a lot. They used to be really red.
I met this young man a year ago, and he was on the journey, and I saw those stretch marks really clearly. So, you've come, it's close to a year, maybe, coming close to a year that we first met. And you're how old now?
29 now. And you met me 3 years ago. I looked about 10 years older than I do now. I've really reversed my age. My hair's actually started to come back. It was, my hair was falling out. I couldn't get a date to save my life. I was in bad shape. I was super depressed. I had back pain. If I was alone if I was like by myself for like 24 hours, I would be like just basically in pity mode. And now I'm at peace with myself. I can sit down and meditate for hours. I can seclude myself for days, or I can be around people all day long. And I still keep the same calm, peace, inner joy.
Now, let's talk about your new job that you sought out. You traveled from California to Florida. Now, we'll leave the name undisclosed because you want to keep it that way, but tell us about the experience of how you were led to this.
Well, once I got into this lifestyle, I started studying raw foods, holistic nutrition. I started going to a holistic school in San Diego. And part of the program that I was in, I elected to take the Reiki certification. So I went through the whole Reiki experience, and then during my Reiki master certification, I was attuned by the Reiki master teaching the class. And during that attunement, I had a couple angels visit me. A few angels, actually. One of them came up and came and whispered in my ear, "You have lived many great past lives." And I didn't know what that meant, and I was literally thinking that moment, I was thinking, what does that mean? As soon as I had that thought, another angel came and grabbed my ear and said, "You are Hippocrates." And I thought, no, I'm imagining things. This is my ego. And and didn't really get to process it right away. But when I did get to sit down and meditate on it, I had more downloads, and I realized that these were true angels that visited me. Also realized that, I just kind of looking at my lifestyle as far as how far I'd come in such a short amount of time, and how many different holistic practices I've been able to incorporate, and there are very few people on this planet who have been able to go from a standard American diet to an all raw vegan diet and stay that way, and not only am I raw vegan, but I'm actually, I've literally taken those words, "Let thy food be thy medicine be thy food," the famous quote from Hippocrates, and I've made that my lifestyle completely, where it's not just like I'm just sitting there eating a bunch of mangoes. No, I'm seeking out the seaweeds, I'm seeking out the algae, I'm seeking out the shaga, wild shaga mushrooms from the Canadian forest. I'm seeking out stuff a lot of people haven't even heard of, because I know it's the most medicinal herbs on the planet. And
so I want to ask you, I want to talk about Hippocrates. Tell me your story about what you understand of Hippocrates. A lot of people have no clue what that even means.
Hippocrates was a Greek philosopher, lived about 2,500 years ago, and he taught people how to heal themselves through the use of food and fasting. Actually, most people don't know the full quote. The full quote is, "Let thy food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food." But to eat when you are sick is to feed your sickness. So eat a certain way, eat certain foods to keep yourself well. However, the real underlying message there is that if you are sick, don't eat anything, follow the animals. And that's what the animals do when they're sick. They will actually go out into nature, they will hide, and they will not consume anything. Sometimes not even water. And they will just stay still and allow themselves to heal. And that's one of the big things Hippocrates taught.
Fasting is the contemporary term.
Right, fasting is the term. And he also had a lot of other health practices that are being implemented. Like I talked about the infrared saunas. Another quote from him is that if you, what is the exact quote? The exact quote, basically, if you can induce fever on someone, you can cure or treat any disease. And that's basically what some of our newer technology that he didn't even have that an infrared sauna available to him. But now we have this, so we can induce a fever for someone. And he somehow got all these types of downloads from the universe and was able to be kind of the icon, if you will, for health and overall health. And many people sought him out to cure and treat themselves of many different diseases.
Now let's talk about the fever, because we have been instructed, guided, to always induce something to break a fever rather than ride the pony. And the fever is really actually our body giving us a really healthy dosage of breaking through to the other side. Now, did I just cover that?
Yeah.
Would that be correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We are programmed, if you will, as a society to believe that we need something outside of ourselves to heal. And then people use that, and sometimes it comes from the heart, sometimes it's grandma or mom or aunt saying, "Here, eat my chicken soup," to get your strength to overcome your illness. But we take about 70% of our body's energy to digest our food.
My learning is 80%.
It may very well
yeah,
be 80%.
yeah. But it's a lot of energy to process whatever we put in our mouth.
Exactly.
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy. So it actually slows down the healing process when we're eating. And it
misdirects it. I mean, the food and the consumption misdirects the healing process. Now, let's talk about the urine therapy for a minute, because how long you been doing that now?
2.5, 3 years now.
And what was the difference that you discovered when you started that idea?
And the first thing I noticed was an overall sense of well-being. My meditations were better. And I was already on the detoxification lifestyle through the raw foods and the juice fasting and some other protocols. But when I added on the urine therapy to that, my detox started clearing me, like it started cleaning my body faster than ever before. And I just overall felt better. And then as I learned more through YouTube's been such a blessing. Learning more protocols. I started, like I was already doing like distilled water enemas, and I switched that out for the urine enemas. And when I did that, I was shocked. I went from doing them once a week. I basically, pretty much simultaneously, I was already intermittent fasting, and I was eating about 2 meals a day. But when I started doing the urine enemas, I almost instantaneously went from eating 2 meals a day and a distilled water enema about once a week, to doing a urine enema every single day and eating once a day, and feeling more nourished, just overall just more energy, more focus, more clarity, and the amount of detox, like I mean I've been doing a urine enema almost every day for the past year, since before the conference that I met Casey at, which was in September last year. Was that?
Yeah, the Water of Life Symposium.
Water of Life Symposium.
Coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So it's been over a year I've been doing, so in the past year, I've done over 365 enemas, urine enemas.
Now, tell me about your fasting. What's your longest fast? And what are your variables in fasting? People have different ideas about that. Some are just urine, some are juice, some are this. What are your fasting experiences?
Well, I started with juice fasting. I did a 3-day, a 7-day, and then a 30-day juice fast. And that changed. This is before I'd even discovered urine therapy, and I was just getting into raw foods. And the 30-day juice fast was completely changed my whole idea of life. Everything in my mind changed, and I went from wanting to party, wanting to go out to the bars, to wanting to learn quantum physics and help people in any way I can. And it's just everything. All my vision boards were of like music festivals and different. I wanted to go to Burning Man. I wanted to do, travel these different places, and all this stuff just came down, and new stuff came up. And one of the big visions I had was to create a healing sanctuary, where I was already, doing the studying of, had started to study the raw foods, started to study some of the different protocols, and I wanted to bring a lot of these protocols all into one place where people could heal together, and have like the best chiropractor and the best colon hydrotherapist and the best, just all of the best healing, healing therapies, and all of the best practitioners for each healing therapy together in one place. And that's actually, I found what I was looking for here in West Palm Beach, and that's kind of how I ended up here. I know I got a little sidetracked there, but what was your question again?
I love you. I so love you, bro. You're the shit. I got another question.
Yeah.
Being the pizza boy, which I lovingly and jokingly call you, what was the epiphany that flipped the switch for you? What actually happened that you all of a sudden went, this isn't working, I got to do something different? Can you recall that?
Well, it was a process, because at first I learned about what was going on in our factory farms, and that's why. And I love animals. I've always loved animals, but I was totally disconnected. I saw pepperoni. I saw pig as pepperoni. The pepperoni slices. That's just pepperoni pizza. I never thought of it as a pig that suffered. I never thought of when my dad would cook up a a steak and cheese dinner or something, or steak and potatoes, I thought of it as steak and potatoes. I didn't think of it as a cow that was slaughtered. And then, you know, so I learned about the what was going on through
Now, how did you get to there? Was that YouTube or?
That was a couple documentaries. I don't remember what they were, but they just basically they showed graphic.
Yeah.
What was going on?
No, it is. It's horrifying.
I made the conscious decision at that moment. I can't do this. It took me time. It took me to go from cut out one thing at a time. I went pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan, or vegetarian, vegan, and then raw vegan over the course of about 3 years, maybe longer, maybe 4 years. And so it took me time. The hardest thing out of all that was the cheese. The cheese was like, I had cheese parasites out the yin yang. They were coming out for a long time. They had antennas. This is after I got them. Anyways. And
so let's, I want to go to another question.
Yeah.
You mentioned your intention is to create a healing center, that you want to participate in being, you know, a significant influence in guiding people to a higher healing modalities and all that. How do you perceive you're going to achieve that idea? What are you going to do in order to pursue that? How are you going to do it?
Well, it's kind of amazing. I put it out there to the universe. I drew it all out. I drew out pictures, like I physically drew out pictures. I wrote affirmations, and my original thought was, okay, I'm going to focus on the food side, and that's going to be my little niche, and then I'm going to team up with a bunch of different practitioners and create something and bring it all into one building. Well, I found out about a healing sanctuary here in Florida that actually has over 50 acres of beautiful land where they bring all of these therapies that I had written out, drawn out, and together, along with other therapies, newer technology therapies that I haven't even heard of yet through all my vibrational healing studies and everything. And they bring it all to one place. And so I found out about this place, and I applied, and next thing I knew, I was letting everything go in San Diego, and put it all in one vehicle and drove out here, and so I found the sanctuary.
So you feel like you, I mean, for now,
yeah, in
this minute, you found where you belong. And you might be here for more than a few minutes.
I feel that I found exactly where I belong. That everything is in true alignment. I feel like my higher self picked me up in San Diego and basically dropped me off in Florida, and like, yeah, I had to do some work to get, you know, there were some obstacles, there were no roadblocks, and I was just intuitively guided this entire way up until this point in time to meet Casey here in this beautiful forest.
Yeah, I'm gonna just show you what we're looking at here. We're by the ponds. It's just a beautiful forest. This is Okehili Park. Okehili.
Yes.
What a perfect name. Okehili. A perfect name.
And I feel like I'm just being, every day I'm being guided. I trust. I don't question. This is a big one that I've learned through the process is when my intuition, my gut, my higher self, whatever you call that, would say, go do this, I would be like, why? You know, but I just stopped asking the question why. I just say okay, and I just try to get on it. I just try to be on point. You know, it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do it now. I'm ready to go. Okay. It tells me get out of bed, but the covers are warm. It's cold out. No, get out of bed now.
Now, you told me in a recent conversation of you listened to one of my videos and you were inspired by a certain thought. What, do you recall that, what
Yes.
you told me?
Trust and allow. I was in a state before I moved here, before I found out about this, I had some things that seemed unfortunate in San Diego happen. And they just, my situation there, where I was, I felt that maybe the universe, I was in a state of mind that maybe the universe doesn't have my back. You know, something, why am I experiencing this, like, this turbulence? And then I was listening to one of Casey's podcasts, and he was saying, trust and allow, trust and allow, trust and allow, and he repeated it several times. And it helped me through. It helped me through a hard time. It helped me through some roughages, and it helped me be more receptive to some signals that were coming down, because obviously some signals were being beamed down to me that I needed to come out here, but I was too frustrated with my current, what I could see in front of me. I was too frustrated with this to see the bigger picture and to get the downloads that were clearly guiding me to where I am now.
And you know it's all an inside job. The dimensionals run within, not without. You can never find it out there. It's not out there.
Right.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
You know, so that's where it all comes in. You trust and allow, and all of a sudden your receptors are going, oh, there it is. There's the signal I was looking for. Thank you for sharing.
Right.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap this up because I know you got to get off to work. And
I don't even call it work.
Yeah.
I don't feel like work.
Yeah. But, you know, it's all love, you know.
Yeah.
And I love you. You know that, yes. I mean, you're my brother from another mother, and I love you dearly. So, anything you want to complete this podcast with? Because you know, we're coming up on 26 minutes, and so
it all, as Casey says, it comes from within. Self-love is the most important part of all of this. If you can love yourself, and if you can take care of yourself, and everything else will be taken care of. Everything. And you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
And I love you.
Yeah, I love you too, bro. Yeah, don't worry about a thing. You know, don't worry, be happy. All right, so we're going to sign out. You know, peace and love. All heart. Thank you for your time, my friend.
Thank you.
This has been awesome. Good job.
Have the best day ever.
Ever.
What's up, Casey? It's Kambutcha Klarke here, and I found a new way to clean the lungs and breathe. Clean the purest, cleanest water in the world. SHIVAMBU. Got my solution right here. Got myself a nebulizer, is what they call it in the medical world. I got a little compressor, a little like a vaporizer to vaporize the water. Clean, pure SHIVAMBU. I'm gonna clean out my lungs. 30 bucks. 30 bucks on Amazon. Maybe 35. Can you see it? Can you see it? There's just a little nebulizer. It's basically portable. It's got a little mouthpiece thing. There's a little like other mouthpiece just for the mouth too. And just thought I'd share this with you. You can share it along with the rest of the world. Kambutcha Klarke signing out.
All right. There it is. There is Kambutcha Klarke. What a amazing soul he is. Very bright young man. Made a lot of life transformations. He's really remarkable. 29 years old, turning his life around. I'm impressed. I hope you are as well. Anyway, I bid you adieu. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, marvelous day. Thanks for joining us in Weedu Wanders, the next generation. Ciao for now.